Hello, and welcome to the BFA Baby podcast. We have a very special guest in the studio today, my roommate Caroline, as you've seen poking around the Instagram, and I teased this in last week's episode. We have a lot to talk about. Focus on this week is having other passions, having other parts of you that are outside of your major, what you're studying, your art, being a fully fledged, fully rounded artist. So I think that's all I have to say intro-wise. Also, if you're just popping in for this episode because Caroline's on it, I don't blame you. But we have this week and next week, and then we are taking a winter break until the week of the 15th. My 20th birthday, very exciting. Woo! So if you're popping in for this episode, we have this week and next week, then Christmas break. And yeah, so let's pop right into it. Caroline, who are you?
Hi, so my name is Caroline. I have danced my whole life. I'm Taylor's roommate. So I started dancing when I was about 4 years old with, like a little ballet, tap, jazz,
like all the Midwest moms be all up in those.
The Midwest moms.
They're like, I have a daughter. We're putting her in,
of course,
in the baby ballet class.
Yeah. Well, I was actually put in that class because I couldn't talk to anybody, and then now I can't talk to people.
So I was put into mine because the dance studio also had a workout class that my mom did.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, they tend to
They
do
get
that.
the parents in, and then the kids just come along.
The kids just kind of come along with it.
Right.
But yeah, so I started dancing then. I started dancing competitively in 2nd grade, and then I moved studios as the one that I was in closed. And then I danced there for the rest of my elementary school, middle school, high school career, and then I graduated from there, and then I came to MSU. So currently I am a double major, so I have a BFA in dance and a BS in applied mathematics with a minor in computer science and a certificate in web programming.
See, now it's obvious why I picked her for this episode, because she literally has one foot in like every world that you can.
Pretty much.
So you are a BFA, baby.
Yes, I
am.
Go
Bears. So yeah, I wanted to bring you on kind of because I talk about you in like every episode. So now they can put a face to the name.
There you go.
Have you on the episode. Let's just talk. Funny story about how we met. I think that's how we lead it. I think it's a funny story.
Mm-hmm.
Your college perhaps might have an account on an app called Zeme, which was created by someone my older sister went to college with.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they sold it. Anyways.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you sign into your college and you prove that you're an admitted student.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just talk to people. It's kind of like speed dating. It's
kind
like a dating app.
It's really like a dating app, but for potential people that you might be going to school with.
Yeah, and friends and roommates and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can you have a little. I wish I still had mine. I'd pull it up for example, but
I don't have mine.
I was gonna say I literally deleted that. But yeah, so you make a little profile and your interests, and it's fully a dating app.
It literally is. And
you can add yourself to group chats based on stuff you're interested in. I was in a film fans at Missouri State. I don't know anyone that was in that group chat, but I was in it for a while.
Yeah.
And then there was one that was admitted potential dance majors of
potential
Missouri
dance majors and
minors of Missouri State.
Yeah.
And then you were in that group chat, and I was in that group chat. And then it slowly became a one-on-one chat.
Yeah.
In which I would just text her during my open block, because I had this online Spanish class senior year.
Yep.
But I sat down one weekend and did the whole thing, and I just had a block to chill the rest of the semester.
Pretty much.
So then it just became we were just texting, and I was like, Mom, I met my roommate online. She was like, what? And I was like, it's not sketchy.
It's not sketchy,
promise.
I promise. Yeah.
It's not weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we met online.
Yeah, we met online. We lived together last year.
We did.
Our freshman year, and then now we live together again our sophomore year in an apartment.
And last year we had bunk beds.
We did.
Which, nothing brings you closer to someone than sleeping below them.
True.
I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, with a little jail cell dorm room.
Yeah.
But I kind of think we're the poster children of good college roommates.
It's true.
I hope that everyone finds a roommate situation like this, because it worked out. And I think it also has worked out because you have so many differing interests. So it's not like I'm just living with the same person and it's like crazy.
Yeah. It's because we have like such diverse, like, yes, we both love dance, which kind of helps us mesh together, but we both have other things on our own so that we're not with each other
all the time.
Not that I would not love
no. You're with me quite often.
Yes.
We are a bit of a package deal. If you get one, you get the other. So yeah, let's kind of talk about your different majors, because when we were talking in the group chat, you were going to be an actuarial science major, and now you are not.
Yes. So I was going to be an actuarial mathematics major, which at MSU, it's just like a branch. So you have the mathematics group, and then under that you have actuarial mathematics, pure mathematics, applied mathematics, like statistical mathematics. No one does that.
For real?
They have just like a couple different branches, and I knew that I wanted to do something within like data science, computer science-y type beat. And so I originally thought, okay, you know, maybe maybe actuarial mathematics would be really fun, because then I could, you know, be an actuary, which basically does all of the math behind insurance, if you don't know what an actuary does.
I don't. I still did. I didn't when she told me that.
Yeah,
I was like,
they do the math behind.
Well, I was telling my parents about you, because this is when we were like chatting, like life was, because you know, you talk to multiple people like that are also looking for roommates, and then they'll like trail off and you like never see them ever again.
Yep.
And then so I was like, yeah, like we've just been talking, like everything's been working out, and she wants to be a double major in actuary science, and I don't know what that means.
Yeah. And then I ended up changing it to applied mathematics, so it's a little more broad. I can apply it to a couple more different fun things, especially into my interests in dance and research, but then also my interest in computer science.
Yes, let's talk about that, and also I want you to shout out your comp final, because I just talked about mine in last week's episode when we were talking about like dance major finals.
Yeah.
Because you kind of used everything that you know for that dance.
I did, yeah. So I am currently in the middle of a series of works. I just started it, actually. I'm not in the middle.
She's at the beginning.
I'm at the beginning of a series of works explaining one of my very favorite mathematical principles. It's called Pascal's triangle. It's just an infinite triangle of numbers.
Someone's gonna screen grab this and be like, Illuminati confirmed.
Exactly.
On the podcast.
Yeah. But it's okay. So I love Pascal's triangle because it has so many different types of patterns. So something that has always interested me is like a series of numbers called the triangular numbers, which is a set of one of the figurette numbers, which I'm not going to get into. But I basically created a dance piece based off of this infinite series of numbers, which to me, math inspires my dancing, and my dancing inspires some of like my research into different mathematical principles, because they just work so well together.
We're gonna hop into that in a bit.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Just a little teaser.
Yes, but basically for my comp final, I did a whole solo piece based off of this series of numbers. And it was very, very interesting to me. I got to use some of my very favorite principles because, you know, I love math and dancing. Of course, I love dancing. Why else would I do this?
So real.
And so I got to meld both of them together, and it made me so incredibly happy.
And it was very well done, because like even us, the rest of us who like don't really grasp what's happening here, we could still follow it and like get the energy and get the vibe, which I commend you a lot for that, because like if I didn't live with you and I heard you like plan all this out and I was just like, oh yeah, that's the girl in my comp class, I would have been, and you didn't do it as well as you did, I'd have been like, why are we counting?
Why are
you were counting in it.
I was physically
out loud
counting, like saying 1,
3, 5.
6.
Was it 6?
10.
10. 15.
15.
21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was doing. I was dancing and yelling numbers at people.
So was that
basically.
your score, or was your score like the improv part at the end? Was your score the yelling?
So my score, so in our comp class we had to have a score so that there were some improv elements to
With, like,
our
guidelines.
dance. Yeah, but with guidelines.
Yeah.
So basically what I did for my score was I had one set movement for each number. So for 1, I had a set movement. For 3, I had a set movement. For 6, I had a set movement. 10, 15, 21, so on and so forth. And so what I did as my score was, as I built up between the different levels, so I would start with 1, and then I would do 1 and then 3. Now I would do 1, 3, 6. The previous iterations, I would basically just use those movements that I was doing 6 times to influence my movement. And so I would use that as like a starting point for my movement and then let it carry out through the rest of my body. It's the same movement technically 6 times over and over and over again. But I would let that influence my body in improv. And then I had the set of choreography at the end. Yeah. That was like 2 or 3 8 counts.
So then how did you decide that you wanted to like verbally be like 1, 3? Because, you know, you can visually see like 1 or whatever it was, and then like 3. You know, how did you decide, like, I'm going to start yelling in my piece?
Yeah, so...
I liked the yelling, I did.
So I originally was not going to do that. And I took some videos of myself dancing and doing the piece over and over again. And whenever I saw it, I understood it.
Right.
But at the same time, I really wanted to conceptualize the triangular numbers and make it so that everyone could see the pattern. I love math just influencing dancing, but at this moment I wanted to be an embodiment of the mathematics, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so what I decided to do was I wanted the audience to understand the pattern, and it's not a crazy difficult pattern. Once you get it, it's like +1, +2, +3, +4, +5 with the previous iteration. And so it's really not that complicated of a pattern.
Right.
And so I wanted the audience to be able to understand that pattern more as seeing the math, like being able to see it, like, and hear the math.
BFAs we're big visual learners.
Yes.
We're big visual learners.
Being able to visualize it, and for them also to know something that's like, you know, triangular numbers, that's like a number theory.
You don't learn that
beat.
like just anywhere.
Yeah, you don't normally
you don't just learn
that just
that
for fun.
Right.
Unless you're doing something like number theory or exploring Pascal's triangle, which has lots of statistical
and
things.
I think it's interesting to hear you say that, because when I choreograph, I choreograph from a perspective of, well, obviously, what does it look like? It's a visual thing.
Yeah.
But, like, the way you're like, I'm going to use math to choreograph this, I think of mine in the perception of, like, what if it was in a movie? How it would look, how the audience would look. We need to see all sides of what's happening. But also, like, storytelling skills, like, sometimes the audience knows things that I don't, that the dancers don't know, the characters don't know, or they know something that the audience is trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I come from, especially with the piece that I talked about last week, my comp solo.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're kind of like influenced by the other things that we love and want to pursue.
True.
Speaking of pursuing, you got big dreams after getting your BFA. Let's because I consistently on this podcast ramble about running away to New York.
Yep.
And getting my MFA.
Yep.
But let's chat. Like, what do you want to do after school? Post BFA baby. I mean, you'll always be a BFA baby, but like post, I'm currently getting my BFA baby.
Yeah. So after I graduate, well, my plan actually right now is to, during my undergrad, start an accelerated master's degree in mathematics, so that in 5 years I can graduate with an undergrad in mathematics and also a master's degree in math. Spend a couple of years kind of teaching, researching. I would really love to teach math at a collegiate level, and so I'll go back for my doctorate. But what I really want to do is do math research on dancers and see how dance is affected by mathematics and vice versa, and how we can use dance to explain mathematics, which is what I was doing in my solo, and make it more accessible for people. So that's kind of where my head is at right now. I'm also just a sophomore.
We're also just babies.
Yeah.
So that sounds interesting to me because I'm notoriously the worst at math. But, like, how do you, like, okay, let's say you get all this research done and it slays, you're a woman in STEM, you're doing the thing. How would that then apply post, like, here's my research?
Yeah.
Like, who would utilize it?
Who would utilize it? That's a great question.
But also, you don't have to know right now. But, like, in a perfect world, what would it go out to do?
Yeah, so in a perfect world, I would love to do, math research on dancers, of course. I would love that to influence how we teach math to, like, I would say more like middle school, high school kids, because at that point, like, they should have, like, the basic foundations. We can count, we can add. But I want, like, there are so many things that movement, like physical movement, can help solidify in your brain. Now, of course, I haven't actually done the research yet, so I don't know if it's true.
But, like, theoretically.
But theoretically, my hypothesis. Wow, words are hard.
It's okay, I don't know how to talk on my podcast. It's literally my own show.
Exactly. But yes, so I would hope that it would get utilized in, like, schooling, but then also I would hope that it would get utilized just to make math more accessible for people that don't believe that math is accessible for them. Yeah. So I firmly believe that dance should be accessible for everyone and that math should be accessible for everyone.
Okay, dance being accessible is a big topic on the pod.
Yes.
And also I think dance is more, from what I'm hearing, a broader term for just movement. Expression.
Yes.
Because I think where dance differs from just, like, I'm walking down the street, I'm moving my body, is that it expresses something.
Yes.
This could express how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, what story I want to tell, but you're thinking, perfect world scenario, it expresses a mathematical concept that is tricky otherwise.
Yes.
And can help you kind of...
And can help you conceptualize it. Yeah.
Visualize. Figure that out. A little research. Yeah. No, I think that's sick.
Yeah. Like, because, okay, this is really random.
we're getting up
this is
here.
really random. But in my 7th grade math class, okay, I learned this. This was how I learned PEMDAS.
Oh, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, the order of operations.
Yes. Nice. Okay. So I learned it with movements, and that's how I remember it. So every single time, I'm like, parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide.
I don't know what it is.
Subtract from left to right, left to right.
See, that's how I would, so when I was in, like, 4th grade, I was in, like, a spelling bee.
Yeah.
And that's how I would spell the words, like.
Was with movements.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that movement can really, really help people understand topics so much easier.
Of course. So, and then that could lead into, what if someone, like, takes it and they're like, we're gonna write a dance about this, like, someone, like, more professionals, like, this research slapped, let me use it in my professional classroom, my professional company. So, like, you think it could have, like,
I think that it could have, like, broad applications, hopefully. And also, I saw this one piece of work, which is really, really interesting. But it was literally just explaining, like, a very, very difficult mathematical concept in movement and dancing. And, like, it was a professional contemporary company doing it, and I don't remember which one it was.
If you find it and send it to me, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay, perfect. But it was so cool. It was fantastic, and you got to learn about math and also watch dancing and movement
So that, like, you would want it to also be applied to something professional.
Yes,
Like
I
a
would
show.
love it to be.
And would this be a show that you could go to even if math's not your thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a show.
It would just be like an exploration of math in movement.
And I'll choreograph it.
There you go.
Well, you'll help.
I'll help.
I'll stage it.
You'll stage it.
Stage it.
I can give you scores.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll stage it. Yeah, so you're kind of doing all the things. And I think there's a big, especially like, because we both teach like kids that dance.
Yeah, we do.
We do be teaching the kids that
They're
dance.
so fun.
And I think there's kind of a misconception where like you can't dance and also do other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously, like, at a point, yes, you do kind of need to pick what you want to do. But, like, if you're just, like, a child.
Yeah.
If you're a child and you're like, I want to dance, but I want to be a doctor, but I want to do this. It's like, I think something like that could be, like, I really can do everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do everything, which we both know. But I think that it's good to be able to tell our students that we can do lots of things.
Everything. Yeah.
We can do everything.
And also, well, like, so we make the women in STEM joke a lot. We do.
We do.
But, like, as a woman in STEM, let's talk about, is it different being a woman in STEM and being a woman in the arts?
It's very different. It's very different. Of course, women in the arts, there's always going to be difficulty for women in whatever they want to do.
Real.
Literally in anything
Real.
that they want to do. Because of just the way that our society is. However, I have noticed this a lot in my classes in college, that I am a lot more respected as like a human being and as like a person with valid ideas and valid thoughts in the arts rather than in some of my STEM classes.
Yeah.
Not from professors, but just
Like peers.
peer
to peer.
And just in general, the vibe of that, like, you know, I might be in an arts class and it's like half men, half women, or whatever.
Yeah.
But in a lot of my math classes or a lot of my STEM classes, it'll be like 20 men and 2 women.
Right.
And things like that. And then it feels a little less like my ideas are valid and taken into consideration. And of course I understand that that's just the way
it is.
that they've been raised.
And us talking about it on the podcast isn't going to change it, but at least talk about it in like a sense that like this is a real thing that happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not to discount anything where women in the arts have a very difficult time, because they do. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But
it is kind
in my
of,
personal experience.
it is kind of like the movie thing where it's
It
like
is.
the one girl in the engineering class who's
Yeah.
like, do you ever get a question right that no one else could get, and then you feel like the girl in the movie?
Yeah.
It's like, I know, and she like stands up from the back, like the Elle Woods, the Elle Woods of them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's like I can actually do it all. I can
That's
be sparkly and dance and also be good at the crazy things that you do. The
Yep.
big high level math.
Yeah.
But I do think that's something, obviously it's like societal, it's history, it's just how we've grown and developed and everything. But I think like, especially in the arts now, we're kind of getting to like a good playing field. Because I feel like when we were younger, it was like a female dominated industry, but the men have an easier time.
Yes.
Because there's less of them.
Yeah.
And they want to keep them in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're kind of, as an industry, at least like in school and the professional stuff that I've auditioned for, experienced, it's becoming less of a female cattle call.
Mm-hmm.
And like dime a dozen, if you don't want to do it,
We've got
we can get
lined
10 other girls to do it, right?
Yeah.
I think we're kind of getting away from that, which is good. And then brings up the, I like bit my tongue really hard, brings up the topic of like more broad conversations about consent, your voice in the workplace.
Yeah.
Do you think, if you were to have one of those classic conversations that we have about like consent in the workplace with people in the math department, what do you think that they would think about it? Because it obviously, it makes so much sense to us because what we do is so physical and so emotional.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta have that line.
Yeah.
But then I realized that, like, I'll talk to people that aren't in the arts about it, and they're like, we don't even, like, what? Like, why have you
Yeah.
thought about that? It's like, why have you not?
Yeah.
Like,
It's just not really a conversation, I think,
Right.
in most of those spaces. I do have to say, in the arts program, we're a lot closer to each
Yeah.
other. We work together in rehearsals outside of class, like, consistently.
we all work at each other's jobs.
Yep, we all work together at jobs, too. And so I think that it's a little bit different because there's just not as much, like, togetherness
Right.
in
Like a STEM field.
in a STEM field. However, I think that I'm sure some people would be very receptive to it.
Mhm.
I just don't think that it's really ever been a conversation
In
that
yeah.
they've experienced in there. I mean, of course, you know, you've got your workplace trainings, like sexual harassment
Your Title
trainings.
IX little
Oh,
numbers.
yeah. Oh, yeah. But I don't think that it's really just as...
Like a peer-to-peer conversation. Like, if you're
Yeah.
working in a big group with your math peers,
Yes.
that probably looks a lot different, and that conversation of boundary and consent probably looks different.
It does. It definitely
Because also you're
does.
doing different things.
You are.
You know, if we're working together in, like, an arts project,
Mm-hmm.
we're usually choreographing something. We're
Yeah.
usually sharing an emotional experience. There's, like, you know, whatever, and there's, like, that conversation there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone could benefit from, like, a... And also just not even just, like, a consent conversation, but a conversation that, like, speak up when you need to say something.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot, and we could take a feminist angle, or we could just take an angle in general,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of, like, if you're in a rehearsal, if you're working for someone, if you're doing something under someone,
Yeah.
in which there's, like, someone at authority at the front of the room, sometimes it's hard to be like, I feel this way about the work. I need help with this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that could also grow.
Grow. Yeah. And I think that that can grow in both spaces us a lot. In our math spaces, it's become a lot better. And so it also has in our dance spaces.
Yeah. Kind of growing. You see good stuff happening on both sides of the coin.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So that's enough heavy stuff. Let's kind of do some fun things.
Yeah.
If you're not mathing, if you're not dancing, if you're not working, what are you into?
I'm into reading.
Reading?
I'm going to show off my shirt that Taylor got me. It's cats and plants.
We're
succulents.
plant parents.
We're plant parents. And so
I'm a bad one, but I am a plant parent.
Yeah, we have plants.
I'm a flower parent.
Yeah, you've got a flower.
I got a couple flowers.
Yeah, they're pretty.
My little kids gave me some this morning at their Christmas recital.
Aww.
I was at work before I came here, and they gave me a big bouquet.
That's so
That's
sweet.
so cute.
I
Yes,
love
we got
that.
some Christmas flowers.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm a
perfect.
flower parent. You're more
Yeah.
like a house plant.
Yeah, I'm more a
parent.
house plant parent. You're more the flower
More
plant
like
parent.
flower, like
Yeah.
get new ones every week type. Pretty rather than like
Mhm.
this is my plant.
Exactly. But I love that. I love reading. I read a lot whenever I can. I have a lot of interests in like math books. I know
I thought you were gonna say men.
men.
I was like,
No.
you have a boyfriend.
I
Shout
do
out
have a
Michael
boyfriend.
Cherry if you're listening to this
Yeah.
podcast. Shout out Michael. We should have Michael on the podcast.
Yeah, he's great. He wants to be a physical therapist.
Do you think Michael would be on the podcast?
I bet he would.
We could do like a trio podcast.
Yeah.
We
that's
like talk
perfect.
about perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael.
So Michael's my boyfriend. Of
Michael's Caroline's
3
boyfriend.
years, just so you know.
Yes. We love Michael.
Yeah, he's great.
Get Michael on the pod.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I like to spend time with my friends. I love to play games. I like.
She's
card
big on games. Big on games.
Big on games.
Yeah. So how do you think that like I mean obviously a greater conversation about like work and life that
Yeah.
we've had on the podcast, but like it's so important, especially as like I've found this a lot coming into college when like
Mhm.
you are on your own and like everything that you're doing is everything that you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like when you're like in school, it's like okay now I'm in school,
Yeah.
now I'm doing my extracurriculars, now I'm at work, now I'm
Mhm.
at home. But when you're on your own, it's harder to get those boundaries.
It is.
Because, like, you have access to a car. I could leave the state tonight if I wanted to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's really extreme, but, like,
But we could.
But we could. And school's not the same for everyone. Work's not the same. You know, because, like, when you're in high school, everyone is in high school from 8 to 2:45 or whatever it is. But, like, in college, like, I have friends that don't have classes on Friday, but I have, like, 3. You know? So it's, like, that difference. So I think, like, having things that you can come back to is really nice.
Yes, definitely.
Especially, like, having spaces that aren't either work or school. Like, I'm big on rarely doing homework in the apartment.
Yeah.
I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Especially not, like, people be writing papers, like, in their bed. I'm like, that is where I sleep. That is where I turn my brain off.
Yep.
We perhaps watch commentary on, I don't know, what was I watching last night? I was watching commentary on, like, Bitcoin and digital art.
Okay.
I, like, was falling asleep, so I didn't completely follow it. Shout out Ordinary Things on YouTube for that one. But, like, that's where you turn your brain off. Like, if you were to write an essay and then just, like, go to bed, like, I can't be doing all of that.
I have to have a separation between I'm doing things, I'm working, I'm doing schoolwork, or I'm doing, like, work, and a place where I am, like, relaxed.
I think a big part of that we've kind of adopted now that we have, like, a home is, like, we have, like, fun little shindigs.
We do.
We're decorating Christmas cookies tonight.
Yeah.
We did Halloween.
Yeah.
We've done...
We had Thanksgiving.
We had Friendsgiving. We had, like, family giving. A lot of family dinner action. A lot of family dinner.
Our roommate cooked us, so she's Russian.
Yeah,
she's
shout out
cool.
Katya.
Love Katya. She made us some, like, traditional Russian
holiday
cuisine.
Russian. So we had we had an international holiday, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Big fan of the international holiday. Yeah, so we do a lot of entertaining, which is not something I would have pegged myself as, like, I'm not against it, but I wouldn't have been like, when I have an apartment, I'm going to entertain.
Yeah.
But I love doing it.
It's fun.
And it's a good thing to, like, everyone comes over, and everyone's done with whatever they're doing that day, and you just chill.
Yep.
And you have fun. Tonight we're decorating Christmas cookies.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that separation of everyone can kind of come and be like, we're just going to have fun and chill.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can have a little study session if you would like to, but also, like, at the apartment. But also just, like, knowing that, like, this is a place where we have fun and it's calm and we decorate Christmas cookies.
We do. We do.
Yeah. So then, I don't know what else. I texted you a list of things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, you did.
We also could just have, like, a full conversation.
Yeah. I don't remember what else you told me.
Caroline. No, you're good. You're good. Other stuff. Life. Let's talk about life. We're just talking about life. Just anything you want.
Yeah, what do you want me to talk about? I love life.
Loving life. We are living life.
We are living life.
We are so living and loving life.
Almost done with finals.
I have to, like, comment on other people's final discussion today, but other than that, I'm done.
Nice. I only have, like, 3 more. So
that's important. Let's talk about that because we talked about dance major finals last week. Okay. So, like, theater and dance finals, we talked about how they're the week before. And I theorize that it's to help the people like you that are also hard double majors.
Yeah.
So how does that, because I'm only, like, because we all know I'm my dance major, and then my 2 minors are fairly, like, creative standard minors.
Yeah.
You know, so what is having, like, balancing those 2 finals week look like to you?
So it's 2 weeks full of finals. Great. Love that. It's for one of my math classes, like, we had, like, a nice, like, traditional final during the finals.
Come down to the classroom.
Yep. You
Have
know,
your
a full
final.
2-hour final. Love that. Another one of my math classes, this one was actually very interesting. It was a really, really hard class. But it was like a 3-part final. So we had a project.
We had that in Tab. We had a 3-part final.
We had an in-person final that was last Thursday.
Like sit down pen and paper.
Like sit down pen and paper final last Thursday. That took a really long time. And then we also have, like, an online portion of the final. that's like online, you take it yourself kind of deal, which is also going to be really hard, which I need to do. He just opened it up, and so I think that it's nice that they're split up, that they're not all the exact same time. However, it just makes, rather than having one crazy week, you have two
back
crazy
to, and they're
weeks.
right there.
Yeah, right back to back. I mean, all of my dance finals are really, really fun.
Well, we both had
sometimes hard, but-
we both had that crazy lighting 2-part final.
Yeah.
The test and the project.
Okay, I haven't taken the test yet.
I took it this morning. It was
Yeah.
fine. It was fine.
Okay, that's good.
It was fine. I mean, it's, it's a lighting test.
Yeah,
But you also had that project, the lighting.
Yeah, the
with
lighting
the
project
system.
was so much fun.
I had a good time with it. We talked about it
It
last
had-
week.
It had so much math in it, guys.
It was. She
It was awesome.
She was like thinking real deep about it. And I think that was kind of. Let's talk about that final because we both did it.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at it very visually,
Yeah, she was.
and I couldn't because he wanted us to write the seconds of the song as which light went when, and I was just putting it on words. I was ding in the background, words, and because I was watching you do some of it, and you were like, oh, that'll obviously fade up in 3 seconds, and I'm like, it's what? You gotta look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
So how did you use your math expertise for your lighting
I'm
final?
not an expert in math,
For
guys.
Next to me you are for your lighting final. How did you use your math expertise?
Yeah, so I feel like lighting, and especially this project, had a lot of the way that I did it. Okay, you could do it in a very visual way, like Taylor does it. Visually, I like to look at pretty things. And things that look nice. However, I was doing it more based off of the beats and the music and being able to count exactly how long it is. And instead of clicking between different cues, I decided to just program the entire thing that would just keep going back to back. And so that's called either a follow or a hang, depending on who you talk to.
What does Foster call it?
He calls it a follow most of the time, but I call it a hang because they're different. They're a little bit different, but yeah. So our professor likes it to be a follow. I like it to be a hang because I like that better, personally.
Posts out, yeah.
Yeah. And so basically I just used that math, exactly this amounts of time in these increments and things like that. Sorry, I just smacked the microphone.
Oh, no, you're fine. She's strong.
I used that to influence how I did my project. It was really fun because then I got to,
You did Purple Hat?
do math. I did Purple Hat. Song Purple Hat. That's a good song.
Yeah, I did the Some Nights intro.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? I think it was fun. I did talk about on the podcast last week that I was sad we don't get to see each other's.
Yeah.
I've seen pieces of each other's. If they're
Yeah.
look at this transition, is it weird?
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wish I could see each other's.
Yeah, I feel like that would be super fun just to see what everyone designed. But
So would you say that? Sidebar, someone needs to, it'll be me, because I'm the only one that has all this footage, but I need to make a cut down of all the times I've yawned on the podcast. It's just a cut down of me yawning.
put it in a TikTok.
Oh, yeah. It's every time I've yawned on the podcast. So obviously we can see how your math has influenced your more artistic
Yes.
finals, training, performance, whatever. Would you say that your dancing influences your math work? Or is that kind of just a whole other side of your brain?
So it definitely can. It depends on, for me, it depends on the type of math that I'm working on. So for things like my algebraic structures, it's basically a whole class on proving things, proving different theorems and things like that. I use movements to help me memorize things because we've already talked about that.
Right.
I have to be moving. I'm
Right.
always moving. I'm always dancing no matter what. And so for that class, all of my studying and memorization came through movement. Because that's just the way that I know that I learn.
Right.
Of course, I could just, sit down and study like a normal human being too, but
We don't build like that.
it's more fun to move and groove
Of course,
and dance.
of course.
And so for things like that, for studying, for learning difficult concepts, I like to break it down into movements so that it makes more sense in my brain. And things that are very visual, like graphs and sets built into graphs and things like that, I will use like movement cues that I do within myself to make it make more sense to me. For other things that are more like my numerical analysis class, that is a math and a computer science class. I took it as a math credit, but it could be counted as either one, whatever. But I used a little less movement based in that one. However, I still think that it was very, very helpful in all of my projects to have like a more creative angle in it. It was actually really interesting. We got to work with a partner on our projects, and I was working with my partner. Her name was Elise, and she was a math major, but she was also a cello performance major.
Ooh.
And so we both came at it from a little bit more of a creative angle. And so whenever you saw our projects next to some other ones, it was very just interesting to see the difference and how a slightly less, well, yes, of course, analytical, because that's what you have to do.
But you kind of have both sides of your brain going.
Yes, but from a more creative take.
Yeah.
Not that our projects were better or worse than other ones. It was just different.
A different approach.
It was just a different
And I
approach.
bet that's refreshing for the professors too.
Yeah.
You know, if you get the same kind of like, here's my project.
Yeah. It depends on the professor.
Right.
But a lot of them think it's cool that I dance too. But
Yeah, you kind of get to
some
do
of
it.
them don't.
You are so against the stereotype that like all dancers are bad at math. Let's talk about that. That was a big thing when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, like if you're an art kid, you are bad at STEM.
Yeah, I don't think that's true at
Did
all.
your school? Well, obviously it's not because you're living and breathing on the podcast.
Uh-huh.
Did your school introduce STREAM at any point? Not STEM, but STREAM.
No, we did STEAM, but not stream.
You didn't have
What's
STREAM?
the R?
Religion.
Oh, well, I went to a public school.
Well, so this was in public school. Like you would educate, like not like this is what we believe, but it was like I didn't really like. I mean, my religion education came later, but you had when they added art into it, that was kind of like a moment for me.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like,
we didn't get that until after I graduated.
oh, so well, I never really like. Obviously, like you take the art classes in school because you have to, but it's also just like, okay, I have some rapid fire questions for us.
Okay.
Top of your brain, answer them.
Okay, I'm bad at this.
What's the top thing you do in your free time?
Books?
What do I do? I nap.
Yeah, you do.
Big napper.
You like to know.
Who's the most fascinating person you've met?
One of my professors named Dr. Sun.
Why are they the most fascinating person you've met?
So he's like so cool. The way that he just randomly came into class one day with a bunch of printouts, he just gave it to us and didn't say anything. He's like, oh yeah, I just like did this groundbreaking research into this one mathematical principle. Like
here it is.
He didn't even explain it. He's just like, hey, yeah, here's this like New York Times article that has me in it, and I'm like,
oh,
okay, cool.
Amazing.
And he used to be like the associate dean of our college.
Right.
And he's taking a sabbatical this semester, literally just to research.
Honestly, that's
just for fun.
I'd say mine is Brandon Hudson, original cast of Hamilton, original cast of Head Over Heels.
Yeah.
Now lives in LA and like films commercials and music videos. Was in a movie with Dolly Parton.
I love Dolly Parton.
It's a Christmas on the Square. We can watch it. We can put
watch
it on the TV tonight while we decorate cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Brandon Hudson was in that. He taught at my studio every now and again. So he went to college with my high school ballet teacher.
Oh, okay.
Or like they were in college at the same time.
That makes sense.
So then he would come and like teach, and he's just so cool.
That's so cool.
What's the last book you really got into?
The last book I really got into? It's called Pascal's Arithmetic Triangle.
Perfect timing for your comp final. Last book I really got into, I finished The Dirt recently, which is the Motley Crue biography. You can watch the movie and you'll be fine. If you don't want to read this thick book, you can watch the movie and be fine, but it was good.
That's good.
What are some movies you really enjoy / want to turn on right now?
Center Stage.
Oh my! Really? Where can you watch? That might be coming on tonight too. Where can you watch?
I don't know where we can watch it, but I've been thinking about that all day today.
Yeah, we'll turn that on. I think if I had to watch a movie right now,
Mm-hmm.
how to turn on a movie right now?
Top of your head, Taylor.
There's nothing up there. The Truman Show. I also just watched The Truman Show. That's why it's top of my head.
Yeah.
But what's the last amazing adventure you went on? We go on a lot of adventures.
I do.
But you also go on a lot. You're a big international girl.
Yeah.
I've never been out of the country, but you travel international a lot.
Yeah. So the other day I went to Kansas to go to this cat bookstore.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was really fun. I'll be going up to work at a competition in O'Fallon.
My hometown!
This weekend. So that'll be really fun.
Last adventure I went on, I went to New York, which we talked about last week. Did a lot of fun things there. What are you kind of obsessed with these days?
Dance.
Okay. I'm kind of obsessed with the Christmas candy that I've spending this entire week making.
Oh.
I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's kind of going well.
Yeah.
What TV series are you coming back and rewatching?
Friends currently.
Hollywood on Netflix.
Mm.
If you had more time and more money, what hobby would you pick up?
Ooh. That's a great question. I'm trying to think. What hobbies would I pick up?
Like, if I think pick something wild. If you like had a lot of money.
I don't think I would really realistically want to pick something wild. I think that I would get like a really like nice either music editing or lighting editing software.
Oh, just like invest the money into a hobby.
Invest the money into like being able
That's
to
smart.
increase my creativity.
That's smart. I think if I had a lot of money, I would become one of those people that have like a really dedicated coffee setup.
Oh, yeah.
I think like if I came into a lot of money right now, I would have like a cool machine and like the fancy thing that you like put, right. I think I'd become like a real coffee snob.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Among your friends, what are you best known for?
Math. Being good at math. Because I'm friends with a lot of dance majors.
And that's totally wild to us.
I think a lot of you guys are good at math.
Sadie is we have a couple dance majors that are also double women in STEM.
Yeah, Eiley. We've got a lot of people
Isn't
that
Sadie
do that.
Biology?
She is. But she's pretty good at math. Yeah, she's got to take calculus.
It's STEM behavior.
She's taking calculus next semester.
But like you're kind of the face of
being able to
What am I known for?
What are you known for?
What friend group? Like my
There's
greatest friend. I have a lot of little pods.
You got a little pods
that I like.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't cross over, like they can, and if if everyone came to my home, they would all get along.
Yeah.
I think like greater friend group, like the friend group that comes to all the stuff.
Yeah.
I think I'm known for being a Zumba instructor at the Foster Recreation Center.
True.
Because we have friends that come to that. I think I'm known for being a Zumba instructor.
Zumba's fun.
Zumba's so fun. All right. What's a music artist you never get tired of? I know your answer for this.
Hollow Coves.
Hollow Coves.
I love Hollow Coves.
Do you know my answer?
Yeah.
Måneskin.
Yeah. I love Hollow Coves. They're so chill and like
Apple. So if you're an Apple Music, I bet Spotify does a similar thing. But Apple Music has like your station, and it will mix like songs that you already have and ones that like they think you'd like.
Yeah, Discover Weekly or daily mixes.
It's kind of like a mix.
6 types of daily mixes.
Mine is just like iTunes to a radio station.
Yeah.
Type beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get a lot of hollow coves on there.
I love hollow coves.
I get a lot of hollow coves on there. What are some obscure things that you were into as a kid?
Small boxes.
You're still into small boxes.
I love small boxes. I don't know.
I was really into I was the girl that always had the flower clips in.
Oh,
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. I think it's who I
think that you would.
well, because
still
I'm
wear
coming back
that.
into the bows.
Yeah, you are.
I'm coming back into the bows.
Those are good.
What's something everyone should try at least once?
I think everyone should try a new activity and fail at it.
I agree. I totally.
Because you will learn so much from that.
Yes, but also like embrace my gut reaction is go to New York because I always say go at least once.
Yeah, it's fun.
You probably won't love it the way I love it, but go at least once.
It's very fun.
But I think like going off what you said, I think also just embrace being bad at things.
Yeah.
Like I'm embracing the fact that I tried to make cookies for tonight and they didn't turn out well, and now we're decorating pot cookies. You know, like just learn to embrace things not going perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the strangest place you've ever been?
Strangest place I've ever
You're big
been.
into nooks and crannies.
I do. I like nooks and crannies.
How about I think it's that place that you jumped off that ship.
Oh, okay. So
I think that's pretty
really
strange.
Cool.
It's cool, but like that fits into like a strange place.
It is a strange
No one's
place.
ever there. Like
Yeah, so
I've never been there.
So about 2 miles off the coast of Turks and Caicos, there is this ship that was originally like a Russian freight ship.
Shout out Katya.
And then it was Italian, and then
shout out me.
It traveled literally all across the world. And then it went to South America. Eventually,
Shout out Alana.
left. Eventually, it got swept away from South
shipwrecked.
America. And there was nothing really on it. They didn't really care anymore, so they just kind of let it go. And it just kind of floated for a while until it got stuck in and this is a large ship. It's a ship, not like a boat. It's like a ship.
It's not it's not your grandpa's boat is what we're saying.
No, it's gigantic. So 2 miles off the coast of Turks and Caicos,
it's shipwrecked.
It's found its resting spot. Okay.
Permanent home.
So this was probably one of the most terrifying experiences, but one of the best experiences ever. To climb from this little tiny rinky-dink boat onto this giant ship that was covered in rusty metal and wood chips everywhere.
You're getting a tetanus shot afterwards.
Oh, 100%. So we had to climb up this ladder, up the side of this boat, or up the side of the ship from our boat, because, it was probably 200 feet deep.
Big butt.
200 feet deep, in the ocean.
Yeah.
At least I'm not good at
it's
that
okay,
kind
it's
of
okay.
math. And so you had to climb up this terrifying ladder. Okay, first and foremost, that felt like it was going to fall off at any moment. So we climb over the top of this railing, and immediately there are just a bunch of holes in through the ship. So if you stepped wrong, you would just fall
and die
50 feet into the bottom of the ship.
Good.
And probably severely hurt yourself because there's a lot of rusty metal down there. And so we climbed up these stairs, but some of the stairs were broken, so we had to climb up there.
Up the stairs.
And then eventually we saw the communications room, which had a bunch of broken machines that were just around, and we go up to the top deck, which is
high,
55 feet in the air. And we jump off the side of a boat, of this ship, We just jump off.
So you were cosplaying as a pirate is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even have, I don't know if I have a better answer than that. What's a strange place you've been?
What is a strange place?
No idea.
I've been in the walls of Koger Theater.
I have. We've stepped in the walls of the theater.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'd probably say, the orchestra pit, where the lights are kept.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird down there.
It is.
Shit gets weird down there.
It's terrifying.
All right. Where would your friends and family be surprised to see you at? Club rodeo. Mine is totally club rodeo. I do not fit in there.
Yeah.
Where's somewhere that would be shocking? I'm going to.
Midnight rodeo.
So real. You're so true. So true. Okay. What do you like, but you're kind of embarrassed to talk about it? I'm gonna get embarrassed on. This podcast is always embarrassing for me.
Yeah. I love small boxes. It's kind of embarrassing.
It's not though.
I put lots of things in small boxes. I like to put coins and bills and things like that.
It's like
my small boxes.
how people like dollhouses. It's kind of like that.
Not that creepy.
I like dollhouses.
Okay.
I mean, I don't build them. You know, people who build them, furnish
yeah.
them. Those are cool.
Those are cool.
I really like fan fiction.
That's also really fun.
I'm so big into fan fiction. Because
where do you read your fan fiction though?
Archive of Our Own.
Oh, I was a Wattpad girl.
See, no, I'm kind of both.
Okay.
But I've transferred.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't like the ad situation they got on Wattpad.
Yeah, they now have. I
have Wattpad downloaded. I do.
I do too.
I do. There's a pretty solid book on there. If it ever got published in real life,
you would buy it.
I'd buy it.
Yeah.
I would in fact probably get a signed copy.
Probably.
But I don't like the ad situation.
Yeah.
But also Archive you have to read on a laptop because the app/website on mobile sucks.
Oh.
So if you're from Archive of Our Own and you got to this podcast, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What has been the most significant plot twist in your life? For the plot.
Me on purpose for the plot or accident for the plot?
Both. Accident for the plot. What happened to you that you weren't expecting?
That I wasn't expecting. Hey, I got a good scholarship to go to MSU.
I went to MSU. I never thought I would go to school never thought I would go to school in state.
Yeah. I had a couple other options that I was planning on going to instead. Yeah. But I got a good scholarship and now we're here.
Bears. What's your favorite / most used app on your phone?
Ooh, probably Snapchat.
Okay. Oh, we might have to pull. I think if I had to guess, mine's Instagram. Because that's when I'm in the elevator, I'll just scroll. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mine might be TikTok. I know
TikTok's
that's bad.
up there.
Spotify. I use Spotify.
See, now you're making me think it's going to be Apple Music because...
You do use Apple Music.
I also use... That's what I use at work.
Yeah. I also use Spotify at work. Oh, number 1 is TikTok. Number 2 is one of my games.
You're right. Mine is Apple Music and then it's Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, we got there.
Yep.
All right. That's our last speed round question. We made it to the end of the podcast.
That's crazy.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I was so nervous for
no
reason.
We literally just had a conversation.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you have any advice for some future BFA potential women in STEM babies?
I would say go for it.
Do it.
It's going to be hard and you will need to really learn how to manage your time well. But if you have a passion for multiple things, I say go for it. Why would you not follow your passions?
That's what I've been getting at, in college. Yeah. It is 1, okay, and 2, normal to love multiple things.
It is.
With the same fervor that you love other things.
Yeah.
And why would you not just try to do everything?
Exactly.
Right.
Now, don't do everything.
Don't do everything.
Because I've also tried that.
And it's bad.
Not gonna work.
We're bad at that.
Yeah. But I would say go for it. If you have the passion and the drive,
do it.
And you want to do it, if you love it,
do it.
I would say do it. Just go for it. 100%.
Amazing. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
I gotta do my little ending spiel.
Okay.
Thank you for coming onto the podcast and following along on the journey. The video versions go up on Tuesday on this YouTube channel, And the audio comes out on Spotify on Wednesdays. I will be working over our break to get it out on all the other podcasting platforms. But Spotify for now. You can follow the journey at BFA Baby Podcast and at Tay Does Ballet. Do you want to shout out any of your socials, your dance Instagram?
Yeah, I honestly don't know what it is. So you can follow my personal account at wolf_Caroline2226, or follow me at _Caroline Dances_.
She's a star, so you also see her in my Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
So she might not even be a new face. She might just be like, oh yeah, I know who that is. But yes, thank you for coming on. We're so glad to have another special guest on our roster for season 1. And yeah, I think that's all. Do you want to do the kiss with me?
Yeah.
Married in a kiss. Mwah!